What's up, guys? Welcome to Season 2, Episode 11 of the Tyde Podcast. I am Adrian.
And I am Steve, and welcome to Tyde Industry Headquarters, located deep within my man cave, with a subsidiary in Colorado. How you doing, Adrian?
I'm good, man. Just sitting here watching the finals of the French Cup.
Nice.
Watching my boys PSG playing.
What?
Hopefully winning this one.
Want to know what I was watching? Don't judge me, because it's one of my guilty pleasure movies.
What's that?
Freddy versus Jason. It's on Netflix.
Oh.
That is
I was expecting you to say, like, Burn Gully or, like, Five Will Goes West or something. Freddy vs. Jason is an awesome movie.
That is a...
Holy shit, that goalie's pissed off.
Anybody overreact to a mild leg injury yet?
Oh, what's that?
Anybody overreact to a mild leg injury yet?
In the game. No, not yet.
So, I've been working a lot of mornings, and the soccer games have been on, and I keep getting the European guys coming in there, and they are very demanding with their soccer, or football as they call it. They're very...
Yeah.
Like, I'm watching this, like, I can't get into it. I try so hard. But they are drinking copious amounts of beer, so maybe that helps. I don't know.
You just got to pick a team and then just follow them. That's how to get into it. And like going to like actual, I mean, I don't know that I would go to a regular bar to watch soccer. You got to go to like a soccer bar, and then it's like almost like being at a game, just like because people can go nuts over it. It can be a lot of fun. The European stuff is definitely the stuff that I do prefer following. Well, I've been to one game when I was in Barcelona in 2010.
Nice.
And hopefully I'll go back to Paris at some point this year, maybe next year, and I'll be able to check out a game there.
Nice. In the meantime, I am not into soccer. I tried. I failed, but you know what I am into? Crawling into stupid places that no human being in the right mind should have any business crawling around in at all. Because of ticks, mites, and fucking snakes and shit. So, with that said, went on a couple adventures this week.
Yeah?
Went to,
how was it?
So, this was on Monday. We did Two Birds, One Stone. Went with Adria, you know her. She wanted to get out, and I told her, okay, you're coming on with me on an adventure. And she did. She didn't like it at all, and waited for me out on the street. So, the first place we went to is it's an old water park in like inland San Diego County, but it's more in like Escondido area, kind of actually more Rincon, over by the Indian casinos, and it was a neat drive out there. And as I'm driving, the place looked familiar, and it turns out I have made that drive before, because one of the indie casinos that's there off that highway I'd actually stayed at to go see Gabriel Iglesias.
Nice.
And honestly, this place was maybe 15 minutes from any of the Indian casinos, from like Harrah's or Palma or Paula. It's like 15 minutes.
Okay.
And went there, and you can just walk right in. There was something next door, and there was a bunch of people, but nobody seemed to really care about what I was doing. It was pretty neat. It was this tiny little place, nowhere close to Rockahula, but still a fun little place. Everything was really overgrown with like the really tall grass, and there were a lot of ticks, and Adria wanted no part of it, so she she just walked away. And I guess as she was walking away, she saw a gopher snake, and that spooked her a little bit. So, okay, cool, gopher snake. I see those occasionally, especially now that it's starting to get warmer and I start running again. But it was fun. Like, a lot of the slides were there. Tiny little place, not big by any stretch. But it was fun, and got to go down a couple of the slides. One of them I actually had to stop myself because I was gaining a lot more speed than I realized. So I uploaded that video. There was just a lot of stagnant water and a lot of whatchamacallit, a lot of tadpoles, thousands of tadpoles. But it was, it was pretty neat. And then, as I'm looking at one of the pools, I see something kind of slithering under the water. I'm like, what the hell? And I look, and it was a snake. I think this was like a garter snake. I had no idea that they went in the water. I guess they do. Probably about a foot long. So, I mean, by garter snake standards, I guess it was like average. A skinny little thing, but definitely wasn't expecting to see that slithering around in the water. So after that,
all right, real quick though, before I didn't mention this to you earlier, but looking at your, and I kind of thought this like when you were talking about the place, but looking at the pictures and looking at some of the video, I went there as a kid. I 100% went to that place before.
No shit, really?
Yeah, when it was still open.
I think it's called Sigmy Oats. I can't pronounce it, but it's like a Sigmy. I think is how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Sigmy Oats. No shit.
I had some cousins that lived in Oceanside, and I remember like I think one summer we were down with them, and we ended up going to a water park down there, and it was definitely that one.
So, wow, tell me about that. What do you remember versus what you saw on the video?
So it was just what triggered it was that big slide and like the hills.
Yeah,
that's definitely what I remembered about it. And then like the big like half pipe type water slide.
Yeah,
that one I remembered. But yeah, when you were initially talking about it, I was like, I wonder if that's the one that I went to. Because I remembered going to one and like down like towards like San Diego.
Yeah.
And then like seeing the pictures, I was like, oh shit, that is the one.
So
that's kind of funny.
So how old were you when you went to this place?
I don't know, maybe like 8 or so.
Okay.
8 to 10.
So do you remember being like fairly small when you were that age? Because the place is not big at all. It's a tiny little place.
Yeah, I mean, like I was a little kid, so it probably seemed like it was bigger than it really was. But I definitely don't remember like being there and being like, oh, like this is like Wild Rivers or anything like that.
Right. They didn't even have a lazy river. Like they definitely had like a big pool with like one of the fountains in it.
Yeah, like a few slides.
Yeah, they had a few slides, and then all of them were on the slope, and I'm walking around the slope over by the kid area, and I think that was it. Like there wasn't anything more like hidden up in the slopes or anything. In the little bit of research that I did, it's been closed for about over 15 years for sure.
Oh wow.
It's in surprisingly good shape. I mean, there's one slide that the tower is in complete ruin. Like I wouldn't step anywhere near it, but everything else is just concrete on a slope. So of course it's going to be in like decent shape. But there's one that actually walked down that was in really good shape. I mean, not a whole lot of graffiti because probably not a whole lot of people go out there because it's in the middle of nowhere. But it was a fun little place. So knowing that, next time you come down, we should definitely go hit it up. Just relive the memories. You can show me where you lost your virginity in the changing room. And then
that was in the church basement.
Father Scott. So from there we went to this place called Marshall Scotty's Playground. And I thought it was a lot closer. Like, geographically, it isn't that far. But to get to it, it's very windy, and you have to go around hills and mountains and whatnot. There's no, like, direct line to it, so it ended up taking a lot longer to get there than I realized. But it was a really cool drive. Saw a camel farm, which I didn't realize was a thing in this area. Also saw, like, buffalo farms, which is pretty neat. So we get to Marshall Scotty's. This place is a little bit more populated, if you will. I thought it was going to be a lot more in the middle of nowhere than what it really was, because it was right off the highway. And Adria chose to remain in the car with the air conditioning on. So I found a way in, and I was mindful because there was one of those trailers that was there that looked like somebody was watching the place, almost like how Shadow was watching Malibu Castle. So get to Marshall Scotty's, and apparently once a year they turned it into like a haunted attraction, but I think they did it once and just kind of left it, because this time around it looks pretty dilapidated. Like, I'm not sure what kind of permits they'd need to reopen it as a haunted attraction at this point, because the place is pretty run down. So
what was it originally?
So, from what it looked like some dude put a miniature amusement park on his property. That's what it looks like.
Okay.
It's a tiny little place, but there's
like Camp Snoopy.
Yeah,
Snoopy
I mean, so right off the road, you see the old bumper cars, and they're just there. There's bumper cars, and everything's still there.
Yeah.
And there's remnants from where they turned it into like a haunted attraction. So it looks like they took some water noodles and just hung them all up. It's like, okay, whatever. But not the go-karts, the bumper cars are still there. And then you go up a little hill, and there's actually a little racetrack where they had go-karts. And there's a pile of these go-karts just in the middle of this property, just kind of all thrown into a pile.
Oh, shit.
There's a storage shed where they had several of
Did you try to, like, turn any of them on?
No. I mean, I did, but nothing happened.
Yeah.
And plus, they were all kind of piled together in a bed of really tall grass, and we'd already had snake issues.
Yeah.
I didn't see any snakes at this place, but I know that there's snakes in this place. This was the snake adventure, and I wasn't wearing my my snake guards at the time, so this place was pretty neat. So there you have the bumper cars, you have the racetrack for the go-karts, which is pretty neat, and then you have a roller coaster and a Ferris wheel. And the roller coaster, it was called the Little Dipper. Whenever you go to the fair, you see like the kid roller coaster that looks like the dragon. You know which one I'm talking about? The
dragon swing, or
like the little kid roller coaster.
Okay.
Where it goes up and there's one drop and it kind of goes up and down and it comes back around. It was like that, maybe a little bigger than one at the fair, but still a tiny. I mean, dude, the guy had a roller coaster in his front yard. How cool is that?
Yeah.
Like any roller coaster in anybody's yard is going to be awesome. I was
Jackson's
right. So the merry-go-round, I keep calling it a merry-go-round. The Ferris wheel was there, still intact, and I tried to crawl up into one of the seats, but it was too wobbly, and it was looking a little bit dilapidated, so I didn't want to risk it. But somebody did put a padlock on it, so you couldn't rotate it, because just me standing there and just using one arm to pull it, you could spin this Ferris wheel like on your own. That's how. So, what else was there? There was a little gazebo that also had some reminiscent of their haunted attraction, and it looked like they had like a Stephen King type maze, because there was a sign that said "Welcome to Derry" or something like that. Something about Derry. There was a couple. So there's the main house, but the main house was completely sealed off. Couldn't get into that. But there was like a guest house, if you will, and that was wide open, and got to walk around there. Got some really cool footage of that. No, it was really fun. So I uploaded the water park video first, and then probably next week I will upload Marshall Scotty's. It should be fun. Adria got some really good pictures while she remained on the side of the road. But it was really cool. There was one point where I kind of led myself to a small ravine, and it was just all high grass, and I'm just trying to avoid snakes at this point. So I'm just kind of high-stepping and kind of hopping as quick as I could to avoid the snakes. But it was pretty cool. There were bones left in the roller coaster cars. That was pretty interesting.
Bones?
Yes, bones.
Could you tell what they were?
Children. No, they were bones left over from Halloween props.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was pretty neat. I walked the track for a little bit, and it was kind of stupid because it felt a little janky, but safety second.
Right.
Yeah, that's about it. It was a fun little place. Took home a little plastic spider that was left over from some of the spider webbing that they used for decoration. And that was about it. The ticket booth was still there. Dilapidated, of course, but still there. So anyways, yeah, so that was Marshall Scotty's. There was a much easier way to get there from how we got there, but it was still a nice little drive out in Native American territory. But that's pretty cool that you'd actually gone to that water park as a kid. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat. We definitely need to go there next time you are in town so you can take me through the guided tour of 8-year-old self. So, anyways, that's that. I'm looking for new places to go exploring. There's a lot of hidden gems in San Diego, but I'm going to try to do something a little bit more local, maybe in LA. It's a lot closer. I would really love to get into the...
Yeah, definitely.
I really want to get into the Ghostbusters Firehouse. I really want to get in there. It's there just beckoning my call to say, hey, buddy, you Ghostbusters fan. Pay a hobo to be a...
So what is that one? Is that the one from the movie? Or from...
Yeah, so they had 2 firehouses that they used. They had one for the exterior shots, which was in New York. And then all the interior shots, I was actually in LA. And it's in the Toy District, but the Toy District in LA is also in the heart of Skid Row. And good lord, I'm pretty sure I walked right past a dead guy.
Oh, jeez.
There are cops on horses patrolling this area. But that's where I did find my Donald Trump piñata, so I cannot complain.
Oh, yeah.
But it's literally just in the middle of this downtown just ruin. It's and I found it by accident. Like, I knew it was there, and I didn't exactly go looking for it. I just remember driving around downtown LA, because it's kind of fun to drive around, see a lot of cool things, and the scenery kept getting more and more homeless, and there's a lot more like churches and shelters like with every turn that I took, and I'm seeing a lot of like toy wholesalers and whatnot. And these aren't like fun toys, these are like the generic knockoff toys.
Yeah.
And
the Revengers.
Yes, the Revengers.
Regular Hulk.
Talking raccoon.
Yeah. Hey, Sonic wasn't on the Avengers.
Pretty sure that's Stretch Armstrong.
Although Sonic was on the Avengers. That might make things interesting.
It's just like Luke Skywalker with like a Ray body or something. So I'm in the middle of just the butthole, like center butthole of LA, and I make a left turn and it's just there. just it stands out like a sore thumb in this place. I'm like, holy shit, that's that thing, that's that place. And I park my car at a meter, and I get out, and I'm looking at it, and I'm kind of finagling with the lock and everything, and I could get in, but I mean, it was broad daylight, and I was on the middle of the street. But this was actually the day that I went to go check out the abandoned Scientology building in LA, and I couldn't get into that.
Oh, nice.
That's the one that made its appearance on Ghost Adventures, and apparently everybody who goes and explores this place comes home and has like horrible nightmares, like things follow them home. So of course I'm going to go check this place out. But
do you know what the history behind that place is? Like, is there any explanation as to why?
All I know is that Scientologists did really weird shit there, and that's really all I know. But Scientologists do weird shit everywhere.
Might be worth looking into.
Yeah, I'll send you the information when we're done here. But Ghost Adventures did do an episode of it, and they caught some really gnarly shit. And I would love to go and check the place out. It's sort of over by, I think, USC. Kind of by USC. But again, in the heart of the butt crack of LA. So
yeah,
I'm working on that. So we'll see what the adventure is like. Probably not next week, but the following week. It's because I have the footage. I don't know. We'll see what my mood's like. So that's it for the adventures. Would you like to take a moment to hear a word from our sponsor?
So, guys, obviously, Infinite CBD, we've been talking about them a lot. Again, guys, if you haven't checked them out, their stuff is just amazing.
It really
I've
is.
been doing, I've been really hitting the jiu-jitsu hard this week. I've literally trained every single day, Monday through up until this morning.
I've seen your pictures, man. You look tired.
Yeah, I definitely do. I have this giant bruise on my shin because we've been working a lot of like leg attacks lately. So I got home today and rubbed some of the CBD cream, the freezing point cream, and boom, just took care of it.
That stuff is magic.
That stuff is magic. I need to get some more soon. I'm thinking about checking out some of the other isolate drops because I'm pretty much almost out of that.
Nice.
And then definitely re-up on those gummies. Those gummies are amazing.
The asteroid gummies, right?
Yeah, right.
So for those
guys, check them out. InfiniteCBD.com. Our promo code is Tyde10 for 10% off your order.
That's TYDE10 for 10% off your order. It's good stuff. Check it out. It works for me. I've been lazy lately because my new work schedule, I'm still getting acclimated to it. I work a lot of late hours, but god damn it, when I was in full Krav mode and I would be getting knocked in the face and getting my kidneys friggin' pummeled by 60-year-old Israelites, it definitely helps. So, that said...
Treating you like a Palestinian settler.
Yes. God, this one guy that I paired off with this one time didn't speak much English, just broken English. This guy was probably 65 years old, just an old guy, old Israeli guy. Fuck, was he kicking my ass? Holy crap! Like, this guy punched like a truck, and just was able to block and deflect everything I was throwing at him. And God, he hurt so much. And meanwhile, the one of the guys that runs the place, who's a black belt. He's just there watching with this shit-eating grin. Just like, yeah, beat him up. No mercy, beat him up. It's like, all right. So, Adrian, what do you have with us today?
Actually, before we get into some of the stuff that we were researching, I sent you some stuff earlier today. What'd you think of that?
What is that?
So... I added you to this group on Facebook, and it looks like they did accepted you, but there is a disclosure group, a UFO disclosure group on Facebook, and it's, I guess, filled with several people that are working towards disclosure. Not some of them may be working for or being subcontracted by some governments. Some of them are just people doing this on their own. But one of the things that I found was a really interesting thing that they posted yesterday, that they actually got a ping back from a computer, or like a computer signal coming from space, where, you know, they were sending out like a message, and they got a ping back that translated as like message received, or like that's how they read it. And they've run all sorts of tests, and they can confirm that this wasn't just like another computer in you know, on Earth that they were reading, that, you know, ended up coming from like some roundabout way. They actually were able to track down that this came from 36.6 light years away.
Interesting.
And the reply was just like message received, which that's pretty wild.
Do they have coordinates?
Let's see. I believe so.
So for those of you listening to this, I get this random text message from Adrian that is all gibberish code. Apparently,
this one is actually unrelated. That was a different one too. So these are two different things.
Oh, okay. So what was the one that you sent me earlier?
So the one that I sent you earlier, let me see if I could pull that up, because that one was way more interesting.
Disclosure will come through your Internet Protocol System version 6. Screens will all carry the message.
Yeah.
And apparently that was translated from hexadecimal?
Yes. So let's see. There was a message that they got, and it was all hexadecimal. And what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to cut and paste the hexadecimal message into a unit conversion thing, so it could translate from hexadecimal or hexadecimal numbers to text. And then you translate that into Google Translate. And let me see if I can pull this up. Where's my notepad? So I shouldn't even try and read this fucking thing, because it doesn't even
no, it's not words.
It looks like it looks like
Czech
H.P.
or something
Lovecraft.
like that. Yeah.
It looks like H.P. Lovecraft, language, something that the old ones would speak.
The ancients.
Yeah, but once you translate it into English, so I took that and I ran it through Google Translate, and it just auto-translated it into English, and the message said, word for word, disclosure will come through your Internet Protocol System, version 6. Screens will all carry the message.
Okay, so was this message tied to this UFO group on Facebook?
Yeah, so that was in one of the groups, or it was in that group, and it was one of the posts.
Interesting. And where did this person get this message from?
Locked from, let's see. Through, I guess, some of the research that they've been doing. There's too much text to read through it, at the moment, and for me to be able to make any sense of this.
Okay.
But it's just one of the people that I guess is working towards disclosure, and I guess what they think is that's how it's going to happen, that they may end up just sending a message out to all computers, all cell phones, and that might be how we end up finding out about aliens, which would be pretty wild. If like every phone and like every computer got some kind of crazy,
like some sort of message. That is pretty neat.
Yeah, that'd be wild.
Other sci-fis have done that. Like the one off the top of my head specifically that did that was the remake of V, where they had like some global message spoken in all languages, on all frequencies, all channels, all monitors.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
And that's how they made themselves known. So, person could be a V fan. Just saying.
You know what's what one of the things that Tom DeLonge, from Blink-182 and the To the Stars Academy, one of the things that he's said is that it really seems like we get disclosure. Like, we've been being prepared for disclosure for a while now, and how they've been doing it is through media and like movies and books and stuff like that, and like making us, like, getting us a little bit more used to the idea where if they put this in movies, or if they put this in video games, or if they put this in books, like, it won't come as such like a culture shock to us to see something like that. It'll be a little bit more familiar to where we don't all like freak out and lose our shit.
No, with how crazy things are right now in the U.S., I could use a little bit of change of scenery.
Yeah.
A change of crazy.
But then, and yeah, I mean, who knows? Hopefully, something like that will happen in their lifetime.
Yeah, that would be neat. So, what's up with the signal from 33 light years away? So, whatever this group was sent out a message, and it was received?
Yes, that was, basically, it's like, like when you, think of it as if you send an email and you put like one of those like message received like remarks or whatever, so that like when they get the message,
okay,
you know that it's been received. Or like think of it like Facebook Messenger,
right? Like,
when you send a message, you can see when they've seen it,
yeah,
or when they've read it. So that's essentially what happened.
So, curious. So if it was received 33 light years away, that means that this would have need to have been sent back in the 80s in order for them to receive the signal.
Yeah, something like that. So I think they're working off of like what has been. Yeah, it's 36.6 light years away.
Okay.
Or no, let's see. We received a packet of information from a computer located 36.6 light years away. It was not a message from aliens. It was just a reply from a computer saying, "Message received." What it does mean is that they now know where to find us and when they need to contact us. I guess that's what they're saying about it.
So we got their voicemail.
Yeah, I guess you could look at it that way.
Okay, so, but what I'm curious to know is, when was this signal sent that was received by this voicemail 36 light years away? Because in order for them to have received this message, in order for us to receive this email, it would have taken 36 years. That's just how it works. So I wonder. I'm curious of the full details of it, because that seems pretty interesting. That we got
definitely
alien voicemail. That's neat. So that's pretty neat. I got the alert earlier that you had added me to this group, and when I went to go check it out, it was asking like security questions, like, "Oh, what do you hope to gain from joining this?" And I was like, I like the X-Files. I opted to not answer the question because it just seems like a kind of an odd thing to ask because it's just Facebook to me. But then for some reason I picture him yelling, or whoever the computer was, yelling at me like an angry Klingon, like, what knowledge do you wish to gain from gaining access to this page? Like, dude, I was tagged to be here, man. Just here for the ride. No, that's pretty interesting, though. When I get a chance, I'll take a look at it. Been enjoying Freddy versus Jason. So, have you found out anything else interesting off this Facebook group?
No, I just I joined it like late last night. From initially seeing that the one about the message received thing, I saw that posted in another UFO group that I'm in. So I followed it back to this group, and I joined it. And I just kind of briefly looked at it earlier today, and I was like, oh shit. So that's when I added you.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, you know, we've been talking about going to that Lufon thing in June. So hopefully, if we go, we can find out a little bit more about stuff like this. Maybe they'll be talking about this stuff there.
That would be interesting. Oh, I forgot what I was going to say. Never mind. Keep talking. I forgot what I was going to say. Actually, that's what it was. So this week I did create a Reddit account for us. So we can now gain our presence on Reddit, and you seem more versed in the Reddit world than I am, so if you can spearhead that campaign. I've already subscribed to a couple urban exploring groups. I haven't looked much into UFO stuff yet, but of course that can soon come.
Yeah.
So you can now follow us on Reddit. I'm still trying to figure out how it works. It just seems like a bunch of forums for people to say really dumb shit.
Yeah. You probably just created a Reddit account, right?
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think it's Pals Exploring, I think is what our handle is. So we now have a Reddit. Hooray. Google Plus is gone, so I can't post anything to there anymore, so fuck it. We have a Reddit now. So definitely gonna check out some more UFO and urban stuff on the Reddits. So that UFO convention's in June, right? End of June?
Or end of July, actually.
End of July. Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
We should definitely do that.
Yeah.
Do a few podcasts from there.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be neat. So, anyways, what else has gone on this week? You haven't seen Avengers yet?
No. I still haven't seen Shazam. I might go see that tonight.
I need to see Shazam still. I'm surprised you haven't seen Shazam because you lean more towards the DC world.
Yeah, I just haven't. I've been really busy on the weekends lately, so.
So my girlfriend got advanced screening tickets to go see Shazam, but I didn't get a chance to see it because I was scheduled to work that day for a training shift. So I did get to go, but she said it was really good.
Yeah, I've heard it's very good.
So, Endgame was good. Like, I liked it. I didn't love it. Just, I don't know. Maybe all the hype train just kind of overhyped it a little bit. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I thought it was a great movie, but it was like, okay. It was like the first 2/3 of the movie are a little bit of a slow build, and then you have the final battle. It's like, okay, all right. That's a thing. Okay, that happened. Ooh. Okay, neat. God, the best part was when Wolverine showed up and started fucking Thanos. And then the post-credit scene with Galactus. Oh my god. And then to see Chris Evans not only as Captain America, but the Human Torch. Dude, that was the best. And then
coming back as Chris Evans.
Yes.
Hey guys, Chris Evans here.
And then
I'm here to talk to you about your 401k. Now your company has graciously.
Oh my
Offer to
god.
match up to 3%.
Right? Oh, man. And that one scene with Deadpool was pretty great, too. Because, Disney owns all their toys now, so they can throw all this stuff into the movie. So that was pretty funny. Like, Deadpool's there was like, hey, I'm in a Disney movie.
Alive.
Yeah. It was pretty...
Stanley just shows up and just starts twerking.
You're right. Though it was funny to see Chris Evans, to talk to Chris Evans as two different characters. That was pretty funny. It's like, Thanos in that reality stone. I see what you did there. Very clever writing, Disney. Very clever writing. Did you see the Rise of Skywalker trailer?
Oh, no, I still haven't even seen that.
Really?
Yeah, I watched the Godzilla one, though. That one looks gnarly.
Yeah. I'm just not sure how I feel about the Stranger Things kid being in it. Like, what's her role? Is she, like, psychic to Godzilla or something? Or to the monsters? I don't know. I just want a Godzilla movie. A good Godzilla movie. Not one with Matthew Broderick, or one that teases... what's his face? Bryan Cranston, but we only get him for 15 minutes of the movie. I want an actual decent Godzilla movie. It is neat seeing that King Ghidorah is probably going to be like the main baddie, because Ghidorah is pretty awesome.
Mm.
But with the Star Wars trailer, you're not missing much. You see Billy D. Williams dusted off and happy that he's getting a paycheck or something. Apparently, his granddaughter really wants that expensive dress for a quinceañera or something. It's a. I mean,
he's probably doomed. I mean, like, I don't see Star Wars having like two black characters that are alive.
Well, if you remember,
two at once, yeah.
Well, Kathleen Kennedy is all about diversity and SJW issues, so that's why The Last Jedi was full of minorities, diversity, and so many women. That one lady that looks like a plucked turkey. Every single scene, it's a chicken, I tell you, a giant chicken. But, yes, there are a lot of minority... And, you know what, it really doesn't bother me to see that in movies, but when it's so ham-handed about it, it's irritating. Like, stop being political. I want Star Wars. I just want Star Wars. The most politics I want in Star Wars is hearing about the taxation of trade routes within the Federation. that is the level of...
Trade embargo on
Naboo. that is the most I can handle when it comes to politics in my Star Wars. There was one moment in Avengers that seemed a bit too on the nose, where you had all the female characters all kind of rally up, and it's like, oh, we've got your back, and all the female characters are like, charging into battle. It was neat, but it's like, okay, come, all right, guys. Stop trying to... Stop doing that. Just stop it. Oh, but Spider-Man was there too. Just stop it, Mark. You know what you did. Don't be trying to pull a Kathleen Kennedy, because damn it, she's almost ruining Star Wars with that shit. Keep it out of my Marvel movies, Feige. Just tell a good story without it being political. That's about it. I mean, it was an okay movie. What else?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'll see it at some point. Like, I'm not like rushing to see it or anything. I'll probably see it in a couple weeks or something.
After all the fanboys have gotten over it.
Yeah.
Now,
although I really think that, like, and you saw that I posted this, but if you cry because Iron Man or Captain America get killed, then you're not allowed to cry when the Chinese come and put us all in internment camps. Because they are coming. And they are not going to go easy on us. So you better start learning Mandarin ASAP.
Well, I'll be honest, my girlfriend did tear up a little bit in the theater, and I was kind of poking fun at her for it. So we almost did, or I almost did, the 22 movie marathon at the El Capitan.
Oh God,
Now,
that sounds awful.
I've done marathons there previously, and the first one I went to was for Age of Ultron, and that was fantastic. I went by myself, saw Stan Lee, saw Michael Rooker and James Gunn roll around the stage like a bunch of idiots. It was super cool. But then last year, decided to go with my girlfriend. The seats that we got were up in the balcony, but we were right up on the edge. And the thing about the El Cap theaters, or the El Cap theater, the seats are very old and very uncomfortable, and there's not a lot of leg room.
Yeah, they're all small. Yeah.
They're not comfortable seats at all. And when we were sitting up against the railing of the balcony, there was nowhere for my legs to go. Like, I couldn't even lean back in my chair and put my legs up, because then I wouldn't be able to see the screen. So I was forced to sit upright at all times and kind of leaning forward. My leg, you get tired of maintaining that position. So eventually we went further up. We migrated, and we were able to set up shop a little bit further up, which was nice. But they didn't have their shit together last year. Like, they started late, and they only allowed us 5-minute breaks between the movies for like the first 5 movies. And you don't want to miss when the segments that they had before the movies came on, because they'll do like prize announcements, they'll have celebrities on. So if you got to take a crap, you better do it in 3.5 minutes.
Scarlett Johansson's assistant comes out.
Right?
To wave to you guys.
Well,
on an iPad.
Right. Well,
they Skype her in.
Well, it was hosted by IGN, and they had some guy. Come on, it was supposed to be hosted by Chris Hardwick, who hosted the first marathon that I went to, but this was in the midst of his Me Too allegations, which were eventually cleared up. But I think IGN was kind of panicking at what to do from that point on. It's like, crap, who do we have? Who can we get in there? But Jessica Chobot was there. That's all I cared about, because she's my secret lover.
Who is it?
Jessica Chobot.
Who the fuck is that?
IGN, dude.
IGN or something?
Yeah,
okay.
IGN.
I don't know. I don't follow them that much.
Fuck. How do you not know Jessica Chobot? Turn in your nerd card. But they didn't really have any celebrity guests at first. I just remember that one scene from The Simpsons. We want Chili Willy! We want Chili Willy! Like, in my fatigue, I was chanting that, because it's like, where's what we were promised?
I am too crunchy, the clown.
So, to make matters worse, like, they had this one guy who was sort of hosting, and he's like, yeah, guys, I'm actually really good friends with Mark Ruffalo. I'm going to call him up. Hey, Mark, it's so-and-so from IGN. And we're tired and fatigued enough and hadn't seen any celebrities at all. We're believing this guy. And he's like, okay, who has questions for Mark Ruffalo? And a lady asked a question, and he asked the question, and he actually gave, like, a really good answer. And he's like, I'm just kidding, guys. I don't know Mark Ruffalo. I'm just talking in my phone right now. It's like, you dick! He was never seen again. But
Stuffed in the ice machine in the back.
Right? This water's tasting kind of funny. But, like, the year before, the worst that we got was the screenwriter from Iron Man 2. Everybody else was fantastic. He came out and defended himself. Like, hey guys, just if you really watched the movie from this perspective and see what we were trying to go for, you might like it better. And actually, I took him at face value and I watched it. I actually do have a soft spot for Iron Man 2. I think it's gotten a bad rap. And had it not been for that man, my opinion still would be in the negative. But eventually, as the night went on, we had better celebrities come out. We had one of the Russo brothers come out. It's like, where was the other one? I don't know. Spider-Man, Tom Holland came out. It was pretty cool. God, who else came out? I think, yeah, Michael Rooker came out. No James Gunn, which sucked because they're both really good friends and they both live close. So I thought it'd be the two of them again, but no, it wasn't. I think we got Paul Bettany. I think maybe. I don't remember.
Could have just been any British guy,
right? So it was fun, but it was just really shitty to where we had no breaks because the year before we'd at least had 30 minutes between the movies to regroup, take a shit. But not last year. It took a while for them to catch up. That was kind of shitty. And boy, were there
much added like another day's worth of movies, right?
Yeah, so
another half day at least.
So this particular event, it started on Monday. People weren't getting out of the theater until sometime on Wednesday evening. It was a 56-hour movie marathon. Actually,
disgusting.
I think it was some weird time on Thursday that they were coming out. 56-hour movie marathon. Good Lord, what did that theater smell like? What kind of? Can you imagine the poor kid having to clean up after that mess?
Yeah, they're gonna have to fucking steam clean that thing, power wash it.
Like I know what people do when they're desperate, and I guarantee you, at least 3 people took a dump in one of the indoor potted plants. I guarantee you that happened.
Just peeing in their cup,
right? And so I've been seeing a lot of stuff online about oh, it's 3 hours long. This is the scene where you need to pee and whatnot. It's like, you just go pee.
Yeah.
Anything that happens for the first 2 hours, it's safe to go pee. You're not missing out on much. You're not missing out on anything wonderful. It's like, oh my god, I can't believe I missed that one scene with the Hulk. No, just go pee. There's a lot of really good dialogue in the movie. That I actually thought was really great, but I'm seeing all these things online like, oh, this safe times to go pee when you're seeing Avengers. Just don't go pee for the last hour. Feel free to go.
Or maybe just hold it for 3 hours like an adult.
Yeah.
How I don't understand that at all. Do you have to pee every 2 hours or something? If you do, you probably should be seeing the doctor instead of the Avengers.
Actually, we should do an episode on this, but have you ever heard of body hacking?
Kind of.
So there's little...
You can train your body to do all these weird things.
Right, so one of the tricks, if you really need to pee, and this does work, it works for a little bit, but you can't keep doing it because eventually your body does need to go pee. But if you really need to pee, scratch the back of your calf, and for some reason that makes you not have to pee anymore.
I've also heard beating off will make you not have to pee, but then you've got
you have another load to contend to.
Yeah, exactly. It's just kind of switching the problem. And also, you probably can't do that in a theater as well. I think that's frowned upon.
Hey, Pee-wee did it, and he got off.
Yeah.
Didn't
he? In more ways than one.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it, man. What else you got? Didn't want to talk about zombie pigs today, but you had something else going, didn't you?
Yeah, just a little bit. So, if you guys are following the news, the other week, actually here in Colorado, where I'm at, we had an incident where schools all around the Denver area got shut down for the day because the FBI released felt that there was a credible threat to some schools where there was a female, an 18-year-old girl that was allegedly infatuated with the Columbine shooters, and was in the area and had purchased a shotgun, and had made threats against Denver schools. So the schools were shut down completely on Wednesday, the 17th, I think it was.
Right.
And it was pretty.
So she came in.
Pretty wild.
She came in from Florida, right?
Yeah. So was this like national news? Like, did you guys hear about that? Like,
Yeah, I heard about it. Like, she flew in from Florida. Apparently, she was infatuated with Columbine. She bought a shotgun and I think a handgun.
I don't know if she got a handgun. She for sure bought a shotgun.
Right.
So basically, the story is she was an 18-year-old from Miami Beach, Florida. She was a senior at a Miami. I think it was like in like Miami-Dade County or something like that. But
right.
A senior from Miami. She flew in. She flew out of Florida and flew into Denver, and I think she had been there for a few days or so. And I think on the 16th, which is, I think that was the Tuesday. So
didn't it mark the anniversary of Columbine also?
The anniversary was later in the week.
Okay.
So that was, I guess, part of like what they thought was part of the of why something could have happened, since she was allegedly infatuated with the shooters, and it was in Denver, and it was the week of the anniversary, so that's why they thought something could have happened, or something could possibly be happening. And I guess on the 16th, which would have been a Tuesday, I believe, the FBI came out and announced that they were looking for this girl. They think that there could be threats. The next day, on Wednesday, they canceled classes, and I think at about like maybe noon or 1 o'clock or something like that, they announced that they had found her body by Mount Evans, like at the base of Mount Evans in Clear Creek County, which is actually not too far from where I am. It's probably maybe like a 20-minute drive or so. It's towards like Idaho Springs, and I was actually at work at the time, so it was actually probably a little like where I work was actually a little bit closer than where I live to where they found her. And she was I think completely nude and had killed herself. So when all this news started coming out, like a lot of people are like in Colorado were like, wait a minute, like a lot of the details like don't add up. Like what? So she came to Colorado from Florida. She bought a gun, and now you're saying that she's gonna shoot up the school, but then you find her dead. Like what? Something doesn't quite add up. Like, and people were thinking, like maybe this was like supposed to be some kind of like false flag operation, or just like some weirdness, like maybe like a Manchurian Candidate type thing,
right?
Where she was like, like a brainwashed like agent or whatever. So I was like, all right, like I wasn't too like when it was going down, I wasn't too worried about it. I was like, oh, I'm sure that the media is just making a big deal out of this, and it's not like really like that huge of a deal. But then like once people start freaking out like that and like saying like all these like conspiracy type theories about it, I decided to look into it, and I ended up finding her website.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll throw a link to that on there. And I did a little bit of research on her, read a few articles, read some of her journal entries, and what I found that was she was just a 18-year-old girl that was just going through some shit. Like she was a teenager. She was just being like an emotional teenager. Like I'm sure like we've all gone through shit like that, like you know,
Right.
growing up. So yeah, I think she was. I don't think that she ever had any intention to go and shoot up the school or anything. I think that what she was doing was she went there with the intention of killing herself.
Interesting.
That's the conclusion that I drew. She never knew that the FBI or the police or all these people were actually looking for her, because I guess like when she got to Colorado, she didn't have a way to charge her phone, and her phone ended up dying. So she had no idea that all these people were looking for her.
Wow.
Had she known that, she probably could have like gone to the police and been like, "Hey, I don't know what you guys are like freaking out about, but like, no, I didn't have any intention to kill myself." You know what? I think she must have had a handgun, because I think it was a handgun that she killed herself with.
Okay.
So she would have had a shotgun and a handgun. And I think so. Part of the reason that they thought that maybe she was going to do something to a school was because she went out to get the shotgun. And I think maybe she probably just wanted to shoot off a couple of rounds of that before she ended up taking her life. But I guess a couple months ago she was on a forum asking like about purchasing a gun for being like, you know, like out of state, because I guess the rules in Florida are a little bit different than the rules in Colorado.
Right.
Where in Florida I think you have to be 21 to buy a gun, where in Colorado it's 18. But so there was a little bit of controversy there, like, because I guess technically you're supposed to defer to the laws of the state that they reside in.
Right.
But the ATF was still saying that the sale of the sale of the weapons to her was actually legal. However, I couldn't find anything where they would you know, give the details onto why it was legal. Because again, if you do defer to the rules of the state that they reside in, she shouldn't have been able to purchase it, since she was only 18, and in Florida you have to be 21.
Well, I know that with certain, it depends on the firearm. Like, I know in California you have to be over 21 to purchase a handgun, but you can be 18 to purchase a shotgun, and it has to do with
so
the ability to
the
conceal.
barrel, right? Yeah.
Right.
So that, I think, it was one of the arguments that they were making. Like, so it could be 18 for something with like a long barrel, like a rifle or a shotgun. So I think that could be like what they were leaning on as to why the sale would have been legal. But yeah, you know, it's looking at her website, it was just a lot of her just like not wanting to live, and you know, it's a lot of like emo, like teen, like posts.
Yeah.
Stuff that you could probably find on like most teenagers that have like a blog.
Right.
You know, just shit like that. Which, I mean, like, you know, it's kind of sad. Like.
Yeah, I mean, do you remember? Because we were freshmen when this happened, but do you remember what happened at school after Columbine?
Yeah.
Like nobody showed up.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, like there, and it was just, you know, like rumors and stuff. Like there was a list out there of schools that were going to get hit.
Yep.
As if these fucking 14-year-olds were going to be like that organized to plan like a nationwide like fucking attack.
I remember hearing
the early days of the internet.
Right, and dial-up. I remember.
Yeah.
Do you remember hearing the rumors about there being X's on people's lockers at like another high school, like within our district? I think it was like Mission or El Toro or something.
Or something.
It's like, oh man, there's X's on people's lockers and they're going to get shot. It's like, ugh. But there was nobody at school that day. Like, nobody at all. That was pretty... That was a fun day. Got automatic A.
I do remember. I did go to school. I did go to school on the day that it was supposedly supposed to be happening.
Right. And look at that. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Man,
that was thinking about it, we were in high school for two very, very big events.
Yeah.
Like there was that Columbine, and then 9/11.
Right.
I think we were juniors during that.
Yeah, that was definitely. No, I think we were seniors. Yeah, we were seniors for that. Yeah.
I don't remember.
I was seniors for that. Yeah, that was a...
Oh, yeah, because we graduated in 2002.
Yep.
Yeah, and that was 2001.
Well, we are reaching that moment where I'm running out of room here on the thing that I put up here, so I think it's time for us to close out. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we're at about an hour or so.
A little over an hour, so...
Yeah.
Anyway, so, thanks for watching, or listening in this case. Like, comment, subscribe. Yeah. People aren't quite used to the new channel yet. Too bad. This is how things are now. But we would love to get some more subs. I'm going to try to start doing the Tuesday show, just talking ghost stories, whatever. I talked about the refrigerator magnet and the dog that my granny had. Oh, that was actually kind of fun. I enjoyed that. Had some small technical difficulties, but yeah, anyways, that's it. I'm Steve, and
I'm Adrian.
And keep watching the skis.